Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Schwartz, Dean of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. On behalf of the faculty and the staff of our school, I am delighted to welcome you to today's commencement exercises. I want to thank our friend, Regent Abdul Amari, for presiding over the conferral of the degrees today. I also welcome Associate Vice Provost for Faculty and Academic Affairs, Rebecca Ropers-Hullman. As our students have heard me say probably more times than I should be saying, I believe that there is no better place in the country to study public affairs than the Humphrey School. You may applaud. And you may applaud at any moment you would like for the rest of the afternoon. With an extraordinarily talented and dedicated faculty, a deeply committed and mission-driven administrative staff, and an increasingly diverse and vibrant student body with energy, with enthusiasm, with a deep desire to make the most of their professional education. Indeed, in a school with so many different programs, human rights, public policy, international development practice, global policy, science, technology, and environmental policy, urban and regional planning, leadership, leadership and management, there is a remarkable degree of cohesion within our institution because our students are united in their objective to spend their professional lives trying to make the world a better place, and also united in their commitment to develop the tools to best achieve that laudable objective. And parents, partners, and friends with us today, you should feel awfully proud, not only of the accomplishments of your loved ones, but of the character and the quality of their commitments to public life. So now, please join me in applauding that commitment. And thank you for your support of our students. They have done you proud, and we hope we have served them well. Now, to my mind, serving them well has at least two dimensions. First, it is critical that we provide our students with the analytical tools for rigorous and evidence-based decision-making on issues in public life. And second, while we are a nonpartisan institution, we do indeed seek to promote a deep appreciation of the proposition that public institutions and our political leaders have a role and a responsibility to promote the values of a democratic society, including values that include non-discrimination, inclusion, equal rights, meaningful political participation, and justice for all. And these laudable objectives are, frankly, under stress in our national politics today. And let me start with a comment on the goal of rigorous and evidence-based decision-making. Whether we're talking about the scientific basis for policy decisions around climate change, the factual basis for security-based immigration restrictions, or the data, or the lack of data, relating to concerns about purported widespread and systemic voter fraud. Examples of evidence-free policymaking seem to be accumulating at the national level. Now, this not only disparages what we are trying to accomplish here at the Humphrey School. It makes it more likely that public decision-making will be irrational and therefore will ultimately consign our population and future American populations to greater hardship. More importantly, or as importantly, I think a second objective of our work here at Humphrey is also under stress. And that would be our efforts to train and support students to become empowered and effective political leaders whose work embodies a deep appreciation of their role and their responsibility to promote the values of a democratic society. Now, that objective is also under stress as a result of a highly polarized and charged politics at the national level, in which enlightened leadership is in shorter supply than it ought to be. But if that's the troubling news, the good news is that our graduating students, you all, are going to fix this. You have no alternative. It's what you have to do. It's what you have to do. And in fact, I'm heartened that we are sending you all, our students, into public life fortified by the Humphrey School, by Humphrey School training, and prepared, extremely well prepared, to do battle on behalf of these principles. And you can console yourself with the knowledge that these lofty principles have always been fragile in our national political life, have often been under stress, and have regularly, in our history, been vindicated by the kind of enlightened leaders you all will certainly be. I'm confident that you will be agents of progress and agents of change as a result of your coursework, your capstones, your internships, your engagement at this school, and your deep commitment to making this world a better place. At the same time, and this is perhaps more directed to my colleagues than to our students, those of us with responsibility to teach students who continue to come to the Humphrey School, we need to reflect on our teaching of leadership, of politics, of governance, and frankly do more to enhance our efforts to train our students to be both ethical and effective political leaders as they seek to navigate complex political challenges, like the challenges of building informed consensus among large numbers of citizens and residents of our country who may have little interest in politics, but are deeply concerned about the well-being of their families and fearful about the future. In other words, we at the Humphrey School, we have to do better in helping future leaders to learn how to effectively shed light and not heat in our politics. Now, to bring this challenge of light versus heat into stark relief, it's not hard to think of a political leader who came from circumstances of great economic privilege, enjoying great popularity among a large percentage of a population facing economic uncertainty and fearful about the future, and with an oversized conception of his prerogatives as president. And we all know the name of this leader. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And his leadership is widely credited for enhancing the well-being of tens of millions of Americans, effectively resisting the allure of fascism, and sustaining the institutions of American democracy. So, even as we send our graduating students out to engage these very challenging political issues, we must continue to ponder ways to help develop future Roosevelts, to enhance our teaching of leadership, politics, and governance in a way that best prepares our students for success, ethical and honorable success, and girds them for complexity as they confront the vexing political challenges of a highly charged political system. Now that I'm going well over my allotted time, but I'm the dean, so I can, I want to move to another topic briefly. Some of you may have heard that I'm shortly going to step down as dean of the Humphrey School to become president of the Washington-based advocacy organization, Refugees International. Parents and loved ones, I hope they're not applauding the fact that I'm leaving, but you'll have to speak to them about that. Now, this was an excruciatingly difficult decision, as I'm leaving what might be the best job in the world, or at least the best job in Minnesota, although I say that advisedly because we have Senator Klobuchar with us. But like nearly all of you students, I received a public policy degree a few years before you were receiving your degree, with the desire and intention to be a practitioner in public life. And at a time when principles of humanitarianism and refugee protection are under existential threat, this seemed to me to be the right time to take up the challenge. So at this moment, I guess, I'm supposed to offer some very profound parting words of advice to you all. Well, you're about to be disappointed. You see, as I've thought about this, I've realized that I've been here for some 6 academic years. And what I've done, or what I failed to do, my body of work over time, says much more about who I am and what lessons I might impart to others than words that I might be able to craft for a Saturday afternoon presentation. But I suppose I have to say something. So let me say at least this about what I've tried to do over these years. I've tried to ensure that my focus has always been exclusively on the noble mission of the Humphrey School, with a conviction that we could easily address all other challenges, financial, administrative, bureaucratic, if we never lost sight of what came first: our mission to prepare future leaders to advance the common good in a diverse world. I've tried to advocate strongly, openly, and transparently for objectives that I believe serve the interests of our school and our community, whether that meant initiating a new human rights degree, urging the president of the university to take a strong position against a Muslim ban, supporting a lecture at the university by a controversial public figure who served as a cabinet member in a former administration, or pressing the university authorities on the appointment of the individual who will serve as my successor. And I've done so even when those objectives were opposed or occasionally condemned by friends, colleagues, or important stakeholders. But I've also worked hard to respect and to recognize the legitimacy of the views of others, and to sustain meaningful relationships and friendships with those who have not always shared my own views. I've tried to be an ally and an advocate for individuals and groups that have been victims of discrimination. And I've tried never to forget that being born on third base doesn't mean I hit a triple. I've tried to treat faculty, staff, and students with equal respect, and to appreciate my colleagues, my students, based not on their professional position, but rather on the content of their character. I've tried to use this wonderful platform as Dean of the Humphrey School to speak out on the public issues that preoccupy our students, our faculty, our staff, and our community. And I've tried to remind myself, not always successfully, but I've tried to remind myself that whatever my dedication to making the world a better place, that's all rather meaningless unless I'm doing right by the most important commitments in my life, to my wife, Kathy, and my daughters, Sarah and Anna. I've sought I've sought in good faith to achieve all these goals while strengthening this great institution. I don't think it's up to me to judge how successful I might have been in all that I've tried to do, but I will say that the progress at the school has been an enormous source of joy for me. And what I do know is that every day for me here at the Humphrey School has been better than the day before, that I valued deeply the chance to serve as a steward for this extraordinary School of Public Affairs, and finally, that I'm eternally grateful for the support I've received and the friendships I've made. So thank you all so much.